Hello again, hope you're having a great day. I am back with another video on the Z Fold 4 about tips and tricks and some advanced features that you might know about or may not. So hopefully you get some value out of this, and I will try to cover only the important ones. I kind of weeded out a bunch of them and hopefully get the ones that you use, and again, hopefully you like some of these. If you like what we do here, go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell and like, of course. And even if you don't, you could go ahead and do that anyway. But let's get right into it. This is the second video for tips and tricks. I did another one where I just cover a bunch of other ones. I did just the important ones, I thought, but they weren't in no particular order. So if you like some of these, like I said, hit that other video and you'll go into some more. So right now we're going to do the pop-up view. So if I have an app open right here, then all I need to do is swipe down, and now it is a pop-up. And then I could kind of move this around, do whatever I want with it. And if I hit this little button here, I could exit, make it bigger, smaller, or make it transparent, whatever you want. If you make it small, then it just turns into a little app that you move around. Then if you click on it, it's back. And then again, we could kind of just exit. So if you want to get that enabled, we just have to go into settings here. You got to go into advanced settings. Then we got to get to labs. And then this is in swipe for pop-up view. So just toggle that on. If you're accidentally doing that and you don't want to, then just toggle it off. Another way to do a pop-up is if you have an app open. This bar is up here. This is open. This is there by, I'll show you here. This is in settings and advanced features and labs. And this is show multi-window menu with one window. So that little bar is there. If you close it off, it's gone, and now it's there. And I show you that because if you have an app open and then you click on this, you could do a split screen, that's that first one, or you could do the pop-up. So now it's back to there, and again, you can move this around. And this is important. This is good if like you have a calculator or something they just kind of want to glance at, but you want to put it into the corner. You could also make it you know, you could change the transparency so it's kind of not in the way. And I don't use it very often, but you know, I'm sure some people might find it useful. So that's that, and then we could X that out. So another great feature that everybody loves on the Z Fold 4 is the taskbar. So that's this thing down here, okay? Now to modify it, it's very easy. We just modify whatever apps you have on the bottom of your home screen here. And you could also do folders. So this is a folder here. I just click this and add it there, and now it's right there. And so now when you click on this, now it opens up your folder, and so you could actually have a bunch of apps down here within the folders, so you could toggle them all, you know, very quickly. You can kind of go back and forth and hit any app that you want very quickly, and then you could also open up the split screen that I went over in the other video. So if you want to get rid of the taskbar, you just hold it right here, and it has to be kind of close to the taskbar. It can't be on the edge. Otherwise it doesn't work, and if you want to get it to come back up, you just have to hold it there. Now this only is functional if you're using the gesture mode. If you're using the navigation buttons, then this won't work, and we'll go over how to toggle that on and off in a minute. So the other thing is, if we have we have this, and then let me see here if we can get a split screen. So if you're doing this, and if you notice here, I have it set so there's no taskbar on the bottom now. There's also no notification panel on the top here. So there's no clock or battery percentage or any of that. All that's gone. So this way I have all the vertical real estate to use my apps for. That's actually a setting that you can change to make that happen. So if we go into settings, then we have to go down to advanced features. Then I have to go into labs, which is right here. And then if you go to full screen and split view, full screen and split screen view. So if you have a split screen like this and you click that, then this disappears. If you take that off, now that's back, and then also my clock and everything is back there. So I like to get rid of that. So there you have it, and it's just a little more real estate to work on. So this is why you have to watch the whole video, because sometimes I forget things. So to enable that taskbar, you have to go into settings, then you have to go into display, then you have to go down here and taskbar. So you click that on, and then if you click this, it will it'll just show you that's where it is. But also you could have your recent apps show up over here, or I can get rid of them. That's up to you. And then you could again show and hide with a touch and hold like I did before. You can toggle that on and off if that's frustrating you and you always want to have the taskbar on. Then you could toggle that off there, and the taskbar will always be there. Now, another big one is the fingerprint gestures. So I think I have it set to work here. So you could just scroll your fingerprint and just scroll your finger over the side key here, and you could turn down the notification panel and open it up or close it. I toggled this off because I felt like I was hitting this inadvertently all the time. And it's for me, it's not that useful of a feature because that's all it does. In other phones I've had, the side key actually you can kind of scroll through the your internet, your web browser, whatever you're doing, you can scroll it, and as you're reading an article, you can scroll it down, which is really cool. But this one just does this, and you could also engage it for the Samsung Wallet. So to enable that, we got to get into Settings. Then we got to go to Advanced Features right here. Then we got to get into Motion and Gestures. And then we got to get into Fingerprint sensor gestures, which is down here. You can click on that. And again, you could do the notification panel, or if you set it up with Samsung Wallet, you could do it with that. Like I said, I toggle this off. But if you like it, then there it is. And some people might want to just go through there, look at the notifications quick, and slide it back up. So this way you don't have to toggle on the screen. Again, personal preference. There's a bunch of other stuff we can do with the fingerprints. You could have it so that the fingerprint reader is always reading, so if you just lightly touch it, it will automatically unlock the phone and read your fingerprint. I had it like that for a while, and it is very sensitive and actually very accurate. So if you do this, it's worked for me 100% of the time. But sometimes it works too much, and if I'm just holding the phone or doing something, I'm just kind of dragging back and forth here, it's registering as a fingerprint. And if it's on a finger that they don't have registered, then it registers it as a false unlock. And you could lock out your phone by doing that. So I kind of toggled it off so that if you toggle it off, then you have to push the button and then it will read your fingerprint. So it's kind of up to you. The fingerprint gesture where you just lightly touch it does work very good, and I'll probably toggle it back on because I really don't like hitting the button. So for you to toggle that and change it to your preference, you go here, then we got to go into biometrics and security, of course. Then we got to get into fingerprints right here. Oh, I got to do my PIN, so don't look. Okay, so now we could do fingerprint always on. So that, again, if you have this always on, that means you just lightly touch it and it will unlock the phone for you. If you have it where it's toggled off, then you have to push the phone to turn on the finger unlock there. Another great feature here is that you can click on this and you could change your name on that. I don't really remember which finger I put in there, but if I did, you could put your thumb or your index finger or whatever you want. And if you're having issues where, like I said, this sensor has been great, but if there was any kind of issue, you could do a finger twice. So you could do your thumb, call it thumb 1, thumb 2, and then it would be even more accurate, but I don't think you even need to do that. But if there is any kind of issues, you could do that. The other thing to consider on this is, I hate to think about it, but if you do have any problems, like an accident or something happens to you and you're unresponsive and can't relay any information on your own, it would be nice for someone to be able to access your phone who you trust. So I'm going to get into some of the SOS features on this phone, and a lot of things if you set it up while you're doing my video, because if you don't set it up right now, you probably will not do it. You get busy with other things. So stay tuned to the end here. And like I said, we'll go through the end where you can put all the important health informations in there and all the ways to unlock this and set it up so that, again, if something does happen to you, it's taken care of. But if you do have a significant other or a brother or family member or whatever you want, you could have them put a finger on here, and then they could just unlock your phone by doing that. And you could, even if you give them a password or the pattern, sometimes you change that and you forget to notify people, or sometimes they might forget. So if you have someone you trust, you could add them to that. That's just something to think about. So now, right now you can see here I'm using gestures to navigate the phone. If you want the navigation bar, you could always turn that back on, because that is what the default is. So let's get here, we'll go into display, and then we got to find our navigation bar right here. So you just click that, and now you could have the buttons if you want. And if you look down on the bottom, the buttons should turn on right there. You could actually move them over to the other side if you want, button position. You could do right or left. So now they're on the right-hand side, and that's your home button, back button, and recents. If you don't like that, you do the swipe gestures, and then you could do the swipe gestures, go to more options here. So you can have the swipe gestures so it mirrors what you had before with the back button and the home button and the recents, where you just swipe in those kind of thirds of the screen. I like the way you just swipe up, that's your home button. If you swipe up and hold, then your recents show up. And if you do the gestures and you're using the one-handed plus app, which I went over in the last video, it's real nice. You have to use that as your back button, which is right where you would use your back button anyway. So just something to keep in mind. And then you could turn on and off the sensitivity if you're having any kind of issues. You can make it so you saw that the bar, it's more of the screen is on there. So if you have a screen protector or something on there, or a case, I should say, you might not get right in the beginning there on the screen, but if you have it a little thicker and more sensitive, then it will pick it up easier. If you're using the one-handed app plus, which is a very customizable app, really great. I did a whole video on it where we went into a lot more details because it does a lot of stuff that you can do with it. But if you are using that, then and you're using the gestures, then one of the gestures has to be with the one-handed plus, and you have to use the back button, a back swipe to go back, which is how I have it set up now anyway. The other thing that changes is your Google Assistant. So to access the Google Assistant, you could have it set where you just hold the home button and it pops up. But when you have the gestures, obviously, you have to do something different. So you can do this, and there you go. Or you could do it from the other bottom corner, and that's how it works. So real convenient, and then you could say whatever you want, and it works perfect. Another great feature on this thing is to pin the windows. So if you have, you can give your kids your phone, maybe not this one, but you can give them a phone, and they are watching a video at dinner or something, or they have a game that they like to play, you can give it to them, and you could pin it so that they can't get out of that app. And sometimes it's not about them, obviously stealing your information or anything like that, but they can get out of there and they could screw things up, or they can call someone or text someone, depending on the age of the person you're giving to use the stuff. So the pin feature is just a nice thing. So let me show you how to do that. Let me show you what it is first. So if we go into settings here, so, okay, well, we'll use the settings. This is my recents, and then this is the last app I had. You could pick any one that you want here, but you could do a split screen, a pop-up, you could have it keep open, or you could do the pin this app. So if we click on that, and now it says to unpin this app, you have to swipe up and hold. Okay, so now this app, I can't do anything. I can only stay within this app. Okay, now if I want to get out of it, I have to do this, and then it will ask me for a pin to get out of there. You could have it so that you don't need to add the pin, but I have it set so it's on there. So that's up to you. If you don't have it set for the pin, then you just swipe up and you will get out of that app and you'll go into have access to everything. So if it's a young kid, they won't be able to do that, hopefully, but I always have it on the pin just to kind of make sure that they're not able to hit it by accident. Now, I'm sure you want to know how to turn this thing on. So let's do it. So we go here, we got to go to settings, and we got to get to biometrics and security. And then we got to go, this is a kind of a tough one to find here. So you got to go to other security settings. And now we got to go down here and pin windows. There you go. Now if you toggle it on and off, obviously, but if you click on it, it will also tell you here, you could ask for the pin before unpinning. So that means you hold it up and then you got to do your pin. Or if you toggle this off, then all the person needs to do to unpin it is just hold up and unpin it. So again, if you got to open up the app, whatever game or video, whatever they're doing, they could do anything within that app, but they can't get off of it. So like I said, that's a real great feature that's probably not used nearly enough. So this is something that's available for all Android phones, but I'm doing it here because it's a great feature that is not really talked about too much, and you may not have heard of it before. So if you have some people that you call all the time, your husband, your wife, your friend, whatever, and you don't want to have to go through the contacts to find them, you could have it on the edge panel. You could have there in the favorites, but you could also do this. You just hold the button, and then we're going to add a widget. Go here, and then we got to go down to contacts. And watch this. We slide this down. And now you could add your contact. You click this and it will take you to your contact list. You can just pick which person you want. And if you have a photo associated with them, that photo will pop up right on your home screen there. Then this is a direct dial. So if you click this, it will call the person directly by just tapping it once. If you want to do this, it will message them just by tapping it once. If you did it on this one, then you click on this and then it will ask you, do you want to call them or do you want to phone them? So I'll just show you how to do this. We add one, go into my contact list, go here. And that's my company that I call for my air conditioning. So there you go. That's right up there. And then if you click on that, you will ask you if you want to call them or text them, and then you can do whatever you want. And that's just a great feature. And you can put this on your taskbar if you want. You can put this on your edge screen, so it's really easy and accessible. Another feature that I don't particularly like, but I'm sure some people do, is the cover screen and main screen having them mirrored so that they are the same. So this is my home screen, and I put this for the video, so it's kind of blank. My normal home screen is much more personalized with a lot of the apps and things that I use all the time on it. But then if I close it here, so I got a different home screen here. And again, this is kind of bland. I moved some stuff around here. So this picture actually changes daily, and it's different. I could set my apps here differently from the inside. If I want to do them the same, I could, but I like it different because there's some things that I'm only doing on the small screen in front here, and then there's some apps that I'm only using on the big screen. So I like to have it different. If you want the cover screen the same, or if you want them different, let me show you how to toggle that. We go into the settings and go into the home screen, and then right here, it's cover screen mirroring. I have mine off because mine 2 screens are separate. If you want them the same, you just click that on. And then if you do toggle it on and you don't like it or you want them separate again, you could just click that and it will save it whatever your previous settings were. So if you click it on and then you decide that you don't like it and you want to go back to the way it was, you just click it off and it should save the settings that you had before. This way you're not losing anything and you can try it. Another great feature is you can link the phone to your Windows computer. And if you do that, then you can get have your phone nearby, and you could be doing something on your computer, and you can be getting your texts or phone calls or anything else right through your computer, which is nice. It's also great if you're going into any sites that require a password to be sent to your texted to your phone. This way, it will pop up on your computer screen. You can just copy it, paste it, and then open the app or whatever you're looking into doing. You will also be able to keep your computer unlocked and your phone unlocked, because this could be a trusted device and you can keep your computer unlocked when the phone is nearby. So that's a great feature there. So let me show you how to do that. We got to get into settings again, and then we're going to go into advanced features, of course. There we go. And then we're going to find link to Windows right here. Now, I don't have mine hooked up right now. I had it on my old phone and it was great. One thing to keep in mind is you can't do the text and the link to your Windows at the same time. So you have to disable one or the other. Only one's active. So if I do turn this on, though, the Microsoft app will go here and you can link this. And if you link it, then you're going to get a QR code on your on the computer that you could just take a picture of, and then it will kind of go through the settings for you and set it all up for you. The app on the computer would be Phone Link, which should be in the programs, and you can click on that and again open it up. You will need to sign into your Microsoft account, and then again it sets up pretty quickly, and then it sets up kind of immediately without thinking about it. When you just walk in, you sit down to your computer, it's unlocked, and it's already linked. So that's a great feature. You could also, it does also make it nice and easy to transfer photos or see your texts. And, again, every app that's on here could be mirrored onto your screen, much like Samsung Dex. So there's another thing to do here. There's a standard view and a multi-view. So if we go to settings, I have it in here on standard view, which I did just to kind of show you. It's basically one column straight across, just like the regular phone, but there's a lot of wasted real estate over here, so that's why I don't really like this. But if you go into display, then we're going to go down to a screen layout and zoom. That's the standard view I had on there, but if you do the multi-view, then you get the 2 columns, which is nice. And then, like I said, when you click on something here, then it opens up another side over here. It just makes it a little bit nicer. And so we can get back to that. You can change the zoom on this, so you can make it smaller or the print bigger, however you want to do it. So that's something you could fool around with, whatever your preference is. So I have a couple of tips left. Stay with me to the end of the video, and hopefully you find something that's helpful for you. So you click here, and I have here Samsung Free and Google Discovery. So you can click on this when you go to your side here. So if you have this and you go to the side, this is the Samsung setup. The Samsung, it's your preference really, but the Samsung does have some TV on it. It has audio apps, audio books and things like that for you, and podcasts. Then it has like news and things like that to read, and then it has some games. The Google basically just has the news on there, and it's just your preference of which one you like. If you want to toggle them, though, you go here and you can click that. Now you got the Google, and then if you don't want either, then you can just toggle that off. And then when you go to the left, you won't have anything. So that's just, again, your preference, and see which one you like. This is something that I don't use, but some people might, so I'll just show you how to do it. This is the flex mode. So if you have an app open and then you just kind of do this with your phone, it will turn into a kind of a different option. So you'll have something on the top screen and then something on the bottom screen. Like you could have a mouse pad down here, or you could have a keyboard here, and you could have something not watching on the screen there. Again, I don't use it, but I'll show you how to toggle it on and off if you wanted to. So if you go into settings here, then we got to get down to advanced features, and then we got to get into labs, and then this is flex mode panel right down here. You click on that, and then basically you can click on any app that you want to have the flex mode. Very few apps actually have a personalized flex mode. A lot of them just have a standard one, so you can kind of see which one works and see if you want it for any of them. Sometimes it's nice if you want to kind of watch a video on folding it up and kind of scrolling through comments on the bottom, or if you like at a YouTube video or something like that. But again, I just don't use it. But you can go through any app that you want, make it the flex mode, or you can turn the flex mode off so that it doesn't engage when you fold the phone. Another one is clipboard privacy. This is a big one. Supposedly in Android 13, they're going to be deleting the clipboard every hour. So your clipboard is anything you copy and pasted. So if you copy and pasted text, whatever. But a lot of times you probably copy and paste your username and password into an app, and then to open the app, that stays on the clipboard. So, and that stuff could be read by malware. So if we want to be notified whenever someone is reading our clipboard, we get down here, we got to go into settings, we got to go into privacy, then we got to go to down here, so alert when clipboard is being accessed. So I haven't had this happen yet, so I'm not exactly sure what will happen. I don't know if it will kind of ask you for permission to let the app use it, or if it will just tell you that someone already used it. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, it's good to know what's going on there. So click that, and then there's a couple of things right in this menu here. While we're here, if you want, first off, if you go to the permission manager, this is where you have all your sensors, and this is where you can decide which apps get to use what. So for my contacts, 82 apps kind of want to access it. I only have 31 of them allowed to use it. And you can go on up and down here and go through which ones you want to limit and which apps you want to not have access to particular sensors. So you can go through all those individually. But the big ones are the camera and the microphone. So if you do not want anyone listening in on what you're doing, and you don't want anyone kind of being able to take video or camera of you, or take pictures of you, then you just click these off. Obviously, if you do that, nothing will be able to use those sensors. So a lot of your apps and functions of the phone will not work. But if you want to do it temporarily while you're doing something you're not supposed to, you can kind of close it down. And then when you're done with what you're doing, you can turn it back on. If you want to turn these things off at night or something, again, that's up to you. But this is how you do it. Just remember to toggle them back on. Otherwise, like I said, a lot of the features won't be working on your phone. So this is the end of the video. But we have one more thing to go over. And this is something I hope you set up right now with me while we're doing the video. Because if you don't do it now, you probably, just get busy with other things and just won't do it. So let's get into here. We got to get into settings. We go into safety and emergency. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do here. So the first one is medical info. And you click this, and then this is where you can put your conditions, your allergies, medications, all the things that you might want someone to know about. Then this is basically if you get into any kind of accident and you are not able to respond, you're unconscious, you get into a car accident, whatever happens, and this will be accessible by medical personnel and, bystanders and the police, but they'll only have access to that and your emergency contacts, which is right here. And then you want to add a contact, you just hit this, and you can pick them out of your contact list, and you can pick a few. I'm not sure if there's an upper limit, but you can pick them, and they will be accessible by even with a locked phone. And then we go here with the SOS messages. If we toggle this on, you can make it so if we hit the side key 3 times or 4 times, it will engage. If you're a little nervous about engaging it when you don't need to, you can hit 4 times. And then it's going to call the person. It's going to attach pictures of the front and back cameras, and then it also does a auto recording, 5 seconds, and then like I said, that goes to your emergency contact. You pick who that goes to. Wireless emergency alerts. This is the Amber Alerts, severe threats, public safety things. You could toggle these on and off as you want. I always keep the Amber Alerts on at the very least, and they only let you know if there's something going on in your area. So there might be a chance that you could do something. So that I just leave on. The other ones you could toggle on and off. Then emergency location services. This is normally toggled on. This is just so if you call 911, they could actually detect your location. Silence when driving. If you have a teenager or something like that, I don't know if you could keep this locked, but you could tell them to engage it if you want. And then emergency mode is you click on this, and then basically I think it's just to save your battery, because if you just have a little bit of battery left, but you need access to your phone, you click on that, and then you'll only be able to do messages, contacts, and emergency calls. All the apps and all the other wireless updates and syncing and all that stuff will end. So hopefully your battery will last a while if you need it to. If you made it this far, please hit subscribe and the like button, and hit the bell so that hopefully you get some notifications when I come out with new videos. That would be great. And if there's any comments, anything I missed, or anything else you want me to kind of go over, let me know. Otherwise, hope you're enjoying the new phone, and see you on the next video.